Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Two Grade 1 stakes races for 2-year-olds at Los Alamitos on Saturday. Let's begin with the ladies. Race number 7 is the Starlet. $300,000 is the purse. We're going a mile and a 16th. You can bet both of these nice races and the rest of the Los Alamitos card with a new DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com. Be rewarded with a 300% deposit match. Here's the field for the Grade 1 Starlet, and there's no surprise that Bob Baffert is very well represented. The number 6, Chasing Yesterday, the 9-5 morning line favorite. The number 2, Mother, the 2-1 second choice. Both trained by Baffert. Both are stakes winners, and Chasing Yesterday is the big story. She's the little half-sister to American Pharaoh. She's 3 for 4 lifetime.
And you know what? I like everything she's done, maybe with the exception of that spin away, but she had a lot of things thrown at her in the spin away. Second lifetime start, shipping across the country, 7/8 of a mile against a decent enough field. The other 3 races, they've all been victories, and I like the way that she's done it in all 3 of them. She's shown the ability to come from just off of a target. She's shown the ability to really adapt to whatever's thrown at her. She won at different racetracks. I do find it a little bit curious, and DRF's national handicapper, Mike Watchmaker, was the one that first brought it up, and I kind of have to look at it and think the same way. Why haven't they run her longer yet? But you and I were talking before we came on. A lot of it probably had to do with just timing of things.
I think the spin away kind of disappointed Baffert a little bit. He showed a lot of confidence shipping her east for her second lifetime start. She was the big favorite, and I thought she had a legitimate excuse that day. After she got bounced around at the start, she was in behind horses really for the first time in her career, and she seemed very uncomfortable taking the dirt. And I wonder after that race if Baffert just wanted to get her confidence back. He probably didn't want to run her in the chandelier going 2 turns off that kind of non-effort, so he found a great spot in that little black type stake 2 back. She ran well, and then it was too late for the Breeders' Cup. They had already missed the chandelier. Why not prep for this race, a Grade 1 in the Desi Arnaz? And Lucy, she came home really well in that race in the Desi Arnaz, winning by a length and a half. Beyer was slow. Timeform US was fine. I love the outside post position here for Chasing Yesterday. I think she settles in a 3-wide trip, and I think she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And like you say, from a trip standpoint, this could be the ideal situation where you're out there in the clear. And look, that's always a good thing, but particularly so at Los Alamitos, because look, we've seen time and time again that these horses are 3 and 4 paths off the rail, and they're the nearest to the rail. So she's going to be out there in the clear. She'll be on the best part of the racetrack, and if she's good enough, she'll be able to go on with it.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector and see if they agree with our analysis. And they have the 6 sitting 4th as they hit the first quarter mile or so. Mother, the other Baffert, expected to make the lead. I'm not sure that's the case. Something tells me the number 3 sold it at 20-1, stretching way out from 5 furlongs to a mile and a 16th. With that good sprint speed, will make the lead. And I wouldn't be surprised if Baffert wants to test Mother a little bit. Let that horse clear, get to the outside, and try to teach this one to rate a little bit.
I was going to say, the other thing about Mother that I'm going to be interested to see is actually how the wagering public wages on her, because I feel like Vibrance just to the inside, who we'll touch on here in a little bit, I think she's going to take more money than Mother is. No disrespect to the connections, but Mother just feels like I thought she got away with a relatively easy situation in that most recent run, that Rags to Riches. That was a 1-turn mile. She got to go 2 turns for the first time, and I know many of these fillies have to do that, but I don't know, first time blinkers, maybe that was the forward move that you got from her. I'm starting to put it this way, I just don't know what to expect from her here, and at the price that she's likely to be, I don't love her.
But she is a half-to-commanding Curve who placed in the Kentucky Derby. I think distance isn't going to be a problem, and if you think the number 3 Sold It is just a beautiful target, there's a good chance that when the real running begins turning into the stretch, Mother might have inherited the lead. Let's talk quickly about Sold It, who ran okay in the career debut as a beaten favorite, switched to turf, was able, I thought, to get away with kind of a nice easy pace that day en route to winning. At 20-1 on the morning line, she's a tough sell with Mother likely breathing down her throat and Chasing Yesterday not too far behind. She might have some potential as a turf sprinter down the road.
Perhaps I'm reading this entirely wrong, and maybe it's poor form to just assume certain things, but I think she is a turf horse, and I think, look, anyone out there on the West Coast, this is a 6-horse field for a Grade 1 for 2-year-old fillies. I would do the exact same thing even if she was a turf horse. Got to take a chance that you can run 3rd.
The number 1 Vibrance is already multiple Grade 1 placed, pace-setting runner-up in the Grade 1 Chandelier behind eventual beaten Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies favorite Bellafina, and then she ran fine in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. A nice even third, shipping for the first time. She's bred to get this distance as well. She's a half to one of our favorites, the long-winded Peruvian Group 1 winner, Lidaris. And if Vibrance is now comfortable sitting from off the pace, she might tuck in behind the early leaders.
I was going to say, if you think Mother goes, and if you think Sold It goes, I think all of a sudden Vibrance sits that pocket, and I think you're in a really good position. You don't want to get hemmed in by a horse like Chasing Yesterday or anyone else, but at the same time, I think she works out a great trip in here. To be honest with you, as much as I think Chasing Yesterday has potentially the most upside, I think you can make an argument that Vibrance should be the horse to beat in here just because of who she's faced and how she's done it. I've been impressed with every one of her starts thus far. Maybe she's not the best of the best, but she's pretty darn good, and I think she's going to take some beating in here.
The number 5, Anaya Al Rab, is simply slow on paper, but I like the way she won her 2-turn debut off of a 2-month layoff in her most recent start, and she was expected to improve with distance. She is a daughter of Uncle Mo. The dam was a stakes winner at a mile, and this filly is a half to Hatesh. She was a multiple Grade 3 placed runner at 9.5 furlongs. So Anaya Al Rab is going to improve with distance. I just think she kind of needs a little bit of a barbecue to set her up. She's probably going to be near the back of the pack.
No, agreed. She's just slow on paper right now. She needs to take a giant step forward to be competitive. But as I said with the other O'Neill horse, I feel like if you're reading the book and you recognize this is going to be a short field, I think you owe it to yourself to take a chance with a filly with any sort of ability.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Starlet. One of the big questions in this race is, do you believe the Beyer speed figure earned by the number 4 Oxy Lady last time out in the Grade 3 Tempted Stakes? She improved by 25 points in one race. I'm sure her fans are going to say the addition of blinkers did the trick. It was a tough race to watch tape. They were running through a pea soup fog at Aqueduct. She sure looked good in the last 16th of a mile from what I could see. Listen, she's a daughter of Oxbow. She's probably going to be a playable price in this race. And if you believe Andy, and if you believe that she gets a little bit of pace, maybe Oxy Lady comes late at a nice price. But right now, that Tempted has not come back strong.
No, it hasn't. You've had 3 horses exit that race. The second place finisher of 50, the third of 54, the fourth of 65. So, and the other thing too is all of those horses have regressed from the figure that they earned in that Tempted. So there's a part of me that looks at that with a little bit of side eye. But at the same time, you brought up if you believe Andy, but also if you believe Timeform, because Timeform had that rated as a very, very fast race. This could be one of those rare instances where you're looking at the fastest horse on paper, and you might get every bit of that 5-1 on the morning line. I need her to prove it to me, but at the same time, if I really liked her, I would be chomping at the bit to go in better in a spot like this, because how often does this sort of opportunity even present itself? I think you have to, if you like her, you owe it to yourself to bet her.
Jack Sisterson, former assistant, I believe, to Doug O'Neill, could have run this horse in the Demoiselle at Aqueduct over a track that he knows she likes, going 1 1/8. He opted to wait for the perhaps more prestigious Grade 1 1 week later. I'll give Oxy Lady a little shot. I go 4, 1, 6, and 2, but Chasing Yesterday, a lot of hype around American Pharaoh's little half-sister. She should be tough again.
Yeah, this is a race I don't have much interest in from a wagering standpoint, but I'm going to be curious to see what we get from Chasing Yesterday. You know, does she continue on this sort of path and continue to trend upward, or does this 2-turn configuration against legitimately good company become a little bit of a stumbling block? It is worth noting she beat the same horse in each of her past 2 starts. So now she's got to show, and believe me, I think that runner-up in those races is actually pretty good, but she's going to need to prove that she can handle some better horses. We'll find out on Saturday.
You're going with Chasing Yesterday on top. I'll take a slight stab with Oxy Lady shipping west for Jack Sisterson in the Grade 1 Starlet, one of 2 graded stakes races for the babies at Los Alamitos on Saturday. Bet them both with a DRF Bets account and the 300% deposit match that comes along with it. It's an easy sign up at bets.drf.com. An approximate post time for the Grade 1 Starlet, 3:28 Pacific. Good luck.